organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Starbucks is in hot water. Who knew cups could stir quite a controversy?
And better safe than sorry. That's what many UI students said about getting the free MMR vaccination.
2 Iowa sports are set to compete in record-setting matchups at Kinnick Stadium this Saturday.
Find out more later in sports.
All that and more coming up.
Daily Iowan TV starts now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Roberts.
And I'm Cole Johnson.
We begin tonight with an update on the hawk alerts that rocked campus Tuesday. Before the sun came up Tuesday morning, the University of Iowa community received a hawk alert, warning them that a man had allegedly sexually assaulted 3 women on campus. Later Tuesday afternoon, another hawk alert was released saying that there was a man assaulting women near the West Campus dorms. A little bit before 3 o'clock, the suspect was taken into custody. UI police said, quote, the suspect was involuntarily committed to UIHC and charges are still pending, end quote. Because the case is still pending, the UI police are not able to give us any details about the man.
Several months after the first case of mumps hit the University of Iowa, the term outbreak is now being used to describe the situation. The UI is responding in a way to hopefully keep students from contracting the virus. Daily Iowan TV reporter Andrew Roberts has a story.
Since early September, the outbreak of mumps cases on the campus of the University of Iowa has continued to rise with over 100 confirmed cases. Now, in concordance with the health advisory from the state, the UI is offering free MMR vaccinations to students younger than 25, and all you need is this. On November 6th, the UI sent out an email informing students that free MMR vaccinations would now be offered on campus. According to Lisa James, the recommendation came from both the state and county health departments.
They wanted us to try offering the 3rd MMR to students, which is pretty much the only thing left in our arsenal to try to up people's immunity so that their herd immunity is a little bit stronger.
The university's decision to offer the vaccine to students for free was a costly one, as the vaccine runs around $55 per dose. When asked about where the money to afford the costs originated, university spokesperson Tom Moore responded in an email saying, quote, the university consistently holds some funds in reserve for emergencies such as these, and we are drawing on those funds to pay for the vaccines, end quote. In total, the university is spending $161,693.10 for the 3,000 doses of the MMR vaccine and the necessary supplies to administer them. Yet some students aren't heeding the warning to get a 3rd vaccine and are paying the price.
I had been vaccinated twice, so I guess the doctor said that there was like a 10% chance of getting it after that, and I still got it.
Student Health will be offering vaccinations on various locations on campus, with the next being held on Wednesday at the 2nd floor ballroom of the IMU from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Reporting from the IMU, I'm Andrew Roberts for Daily Iowan TV. Tuesday night, 8 candidates are squaring off in the 4th GOP presidential debate at the Milwaukee Theater in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Like the previous GOP debates, the group of candidates split into 2 groups for 2 separate debates, one airing at 9 and another at 11 p.m. Both debates will focus on taxes, jobs, and the economy in general, as well as other domestic and international policy issues. On the main debate stage, Donald Trump, Ben Carson, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Jeb Bush, Carly Fiorina, John Kasich, and Rand Paul.
This year's holiday season, Red Cups is stirring up quite the controversy for Starbucks. On November 1st, the company released their new holiday cups. The Red Cup, which is supposed to signify that the holiday season is quickly approaching, has only made some critics believe that Starbucks is creating an attack on Christmas.
Recently, people have just been trying to find something to get upset about, and so now they're thinking that because I took snowflakes off the cup and other holiday-themed pictures, it's some type of attack on Christmas, but I really don't see it that way.
To some, this new change is not a big deal, but other consumers are not so cheery about taking this Christmas spirit off of the cup.
Chipotle is planning to reopen 43 restaurants in Washington and Oregon, despite not knowing the source of the outbreak. In total, 27 people in Washington and 15 people in Oregon have been diagnosed with E. coli, and health officials said most reported eating at a Chipotle restaurant before getting sick. Chipotle representatives said the 43 locations that were voluntarily closed last month underwent a strenuous cleaning process, testing and replacing ingredients. Health officials in Washington said tests are still processing, but that they may never discover a source for the outbreak.
Agricultural officials say an unusually warm start to November has helped Iowa corn and soybean farmers with this year's harvest. State climatologists say statewide temperatures were about 9 degrees above normal last week. The prolonged warmth allowed farmers to reap 93% of their corn crop out of the fields.
Speaking of that, I heard we have had the warmest start to November since 2008.
Well, I hope that continues and hopes for a warmer winter.
Well, let's see what we can expect to see for at least the coming week.
It sure is going to start out cool during the morning and evenings. Wednesday morning, we'll have a partly cloudy skies and temps in the upper 40s, so continue to dress for cooler weather. Moving on to the afternoon, the pleasant weather we've been having will be replaced by rain starting right around midday, along and temps in the mid-50s. As we head into the evening, the weather will turn from rain to thunderstorms as we are due to a 100% chance of rain. We'll actually see a jump in the temperature up to a high of 59. The rest of the week's forecast should be a nice turnaround though. Thursday and Friday, temps will be chilly in the morning and night, so have the wool socks and gloves handy. The nice weather will continue into the weekend, so as you can expect, a sunny Saturday of football and wrestling in Kinnick Stadium with a high of 59. Sunday, the skies will be clear and temps will be in the low 60s. Finally, to start out your upcoming week, Monday you can expect a 60% chance of rain for most of the day. The head of the Iowa National Guard said that he is hoping to increase the number of women in the ranks. Major General Timothy Orr said that he will sign a pledge to recruit and retain more women as part of the campaign by a women's business group in Iowa. Currently, about 18% of Iowa's National Air Guard and 50% of Iowa's Army National Guard is female. I don't know about you, Andrew, but I'm looking forward to all the sports happening this weekend. What about you?
Certainly, I think it's going to be a big weekend with Hawkeye wrestling and football in Kinnick, but let's toss it over to the Skies in the Sports Studio to see what's in store for this week.
Absolutely, guys. The University of Iowa is setting up what could be a historic Saturday at Kinnick Stadium.
That's right, Zach, but first we head over to Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Iowa women's basketball opened up their exhibition play on Sunday, November 8th, and Holly Reamer caught up with all the action.
The Iowa women's basketball team was a powerhouse in their exhibition game against Upper Iowa this weekend. The Hawks took the W with a score of 95-41. Last season, the team averaged 80 points per game. Senior captain Callie Peschel says this high-scoring game will add to the team's morale for this season.
It was definitely a confidence builder. Didn't feel like anyone was on me a couple points, but it was just a nice momentum starter and just got our team on the right track.
Peschel scored the first 6 points of the game and finished with 17 total points and 6 rebounds. Two more top performers were freshmen Tania Davis and Megan Gustafson. Davis took 14 points while Gustafson finished her first collegiate game with a double-double, scoring 19 points and 11 rebounds. Gustafson credits her aggressive gameplay to her experience in high school.
High school really helped me to come into college to be as physical as possible.
Although the Hawks were missing their leading scorer, Allie Gisterhoff, due to a minor injury, they had no trouble coming out with the win.
I don't think having Allie out was a bad thing at all for us. And I thought we pushed the ball extremely well. I thought we got out and ran it very, very well. And that's nice to see, because sometimes Allie has led our fast break and gotten out and run those wings. It's nice to see other people do it.
Gisterhoff will be back in action this Friday to help the team add to the home winning streak with their game against North Dakota at the Hawkeye Challenge. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m.
I'm excited about this season and open up on Friday.
This has been Holly Reimer, Daily Iowan TV.
The women's basketball team is ranked 23rd in the nation, but they aren't the only ranked Iowa sport right now.
That's right. The undefeated Iowa football team finds out their new ranking in the college football playoff poll Tuesday night.
The Hawkeyes host the Minnesota Golden Gophers this coming weekend in their second night game of the season. The Gophers come to Iowa City under interim head coach Tracy Claeys after the former head coach Jerry Kittle resigned just about 2 weeks ago.
On the other sideline, Iowa head coach Kurt Ferentz hopes to lead his team to a 10-0 season for the first time in program history. Daily Iowan TV football reporter Taylor Brooks caught up with Coach Ferentz for more.
November is an important month for any college football team, and as for Iowa, they are just looking to get out of each week 1-0, not looking at the undefeated record so far, but instead focusing on one game at a time. Week 11 brings Minnesota into Kinnick Stadium for the Battle of Floyd.
Again, we got a real big challenge, and we're going to have to really have a good week of preparation. But that's really the best way to get there, and we've tried to explain that to our players. Whatever goals, back during the bye week, we told them to think big, but no matter how big they thought, and whatever they may have been dreaming up, but you can only get there by doing well week by week. We got a veteran quarterback who's a really good football player. They're a big physical group up front, like they traditionally are. Good backs, good receivers. So that's going to be a big challenge for our team. Then flipping it on the other side of the football, they're very aggressive defensively.
It's been 26 years since Kinnick Stadium has been connected to Iowa football, but that will all change on Saturday when wrestling takes over before kickoff for Grapple on the Gridiron. Find out more about that event on our pregame show on Thursday and more Iowa football. Reporting outside Kinnick Stadium, this has been Taylor Brooks for Daily Iowan TV Sports. Zach and Alec, back to you.
Heading into this Big Ten matchup, Iowa star running back Jordan Canzeri is back of the depth chart after suffering an ankle injury in Week 7 against Northwestern.
Yeah, and as if the night game wasn't enough to be excited about, football won't be the only team competing at Kinnick on Saturday. Iowa Wrestling hosts Oklahoma State for their Grapple on the Gridiron, and Laura Belanda checked in on the team at their media day.
For this nationally renowned wrestling program, it's not just about what happens on the mat.
Maturity, realizing what it takes more than anything. That's what we like to see too.
And for a wrestler like Alex Meyer, his mentality inside and outside of the locker room has molded him into a leader of this team.
Alex Meyer is a name that makes me smile. He is everything from a work ethic point of view in everything that he does. It's kind of like anyone, anytime, anywhere. The other thing is that he's a leader in that room from a just put your head down and go to work example.
Just compete to the best of my ability and just let everything go as it will and just put it on a show when I go out there every time to compete. Now there's no more waiting, it's my time to go.
And you talk about Nathan Birak, he's a senior. Brody Grothus is a senior as well, and those two guys represent us very well. Then the other All-Americans, Gilman and Clark and Sorensen, but also, you got Meyer and Sam Brooks who are very capable. I mentioned Brody Grothus. Nathan Birak is a two-time All-American. He's a senior. He's a 3.8 student. He's everything that you want your program to be looked upon as. When you talk about leadership, you talk about an example of what to look for in a student athlete. He's a wrestler that embodies that and represents our program very well.
But leadership on this team doesn't come easy.
They got to develop a platform for leadership. People don't tend to listen to somebody who's got a goose egg under the W column.
And junior Sammy Brooks is somebody that's familiar with building this platform.
Just going out there and hammering people every time I step on the mat is something big for me.
Laura Belanda, Daily Iowan, TV Sports.
All of these Hawkeye sports are going to electrify Iowa City this weekend. We'll keep you updated on all of them.
That's all we got for sports, so Cole and Andrew, back to you.
That's all the time we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check us out anytime on our website, dailyiowan.com, for all the latest news. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Andrew Roberts. Have a great night.